Good morning, good morning, good morning. So today's message is a bit derived from just some songs that are in my spirit that kind of rotate like a playlist in my spirit here and there. But one is just, I'm coming back to the heart of worship. It's all about you. It's all about you, Jesus. So take everything. I don't want it, I don't need it, God. I just want you, I just want you. And that's really just the heart of just coming back to our first love. And it's just we get so bogged down, like how the Bible says, that we're drawn away, we're enticed by our own lusts. And then sin, when it comes forth, that eventually it'll bring death, whether it's a spiritual death or a natural death, depending on what it is that we're involved in, how heavy and how deep we are in things sometimes. And it really just takes for God just to uncover. He has to bring us out of some things. There's such a stronghold on us, stuff that we've allowed ourselves to be in, or some stuff that how it says, when we're in our sin, that eventually will be given over to our sin. And that used to just really scare me so much. It's kind of like, you're in this and we can't take it for granted. What if God just gave you over to that thing and it devours you and it destroys you? And we think about, is it worth it? And in that, that one moment of pleasure, or whatever it is that we're doing, like, that moment of fame or whatever it is, and we think it's worth everything. In that moment, our minds are tricked into thinking that we want this thing more than we want God. And it's sometimes, God can bless us with some things, but at the same time, we're not supposed to make it an idol. God said there shall be no other idols before him. So we have to think about these things that we're getting blessed with, that we're desiring. Say, God, change my desires to your desires. I remember I used to just pray that, say, God, I want what you want for my life. I want your will to be done in my life. And it's just, I guess I'm just in a point to where it's in the a season of where you have to just let some things go. You have to allow God to manifest his perfect will in your life. You have to desire what he desires for us, because he knows what's best for us. He created us. He knows us. He knows why he put us on this earth and what he designed for us to do. And there's things in counterfeits, and there's things in our life that have been, the enemy tries to throw in our way to distract us from what God has for us, for God has for us to do. But we have to take a stand. We have to put on the whole armor of God, that we may be able to stand the wiles of the enemy, the tricks, that we should not be ignorant to the devices of the enemy, but we have to put on the whole armor of God. We have to be able to discern the things of God. Try the Spirit by the Spirit. We have to know what these things are. God, show me your will. Show me if this person must be in my life. Show me if this job is for me. Show me if this school is for me. Show me what it is that you have for me, because I don't want to mess up. I don't want to slip and fall, God. I don't want to die where I'm at because of my own will, because of my own ignorance, because of my own lustful and filthy desires, God. And at the time, we may think something may be good, and then, it may be seeming nice, it may seem right, but at the same time, what I come to find out is, when you step out of the will of God, there will be confusion. There will be confusion, because the will of God, there is peace. There is peace. There's joy in his will. There's all these things that are added to us. And I think think on these things, whatsoever is true, whatsoever is lovely, whatsoever is honest, whatsoever is just, whatsoever is pure, whatsoever. Think on these things. And that's, like I was saying before, about renewing our mind. We have to renew our mind. Let the mind of Christ also be in you. Let the mind be in you that is also in Christ Jesus. We have to renew our minds. We have to renew our minds and understanding the mind of Christ. What is your will, God? What is it that we may miss, God? We get so distracted. We get so engulfed in things. But it's like, God, what is it? What is your will for my life, God? What is it? In the midst of confusion, because God is not the author of confusion. So that right there is a warning sign, something's off here. Because even in my own life, I noticed some things, like when different spirits or things of the enemy were operating, that I would feel this sense of confusion. Like physically, sometimes you can feel it. Or I could walk into a certain church and I would feel this, either I get a headache or something would just be off, and you can feel it. And that's the thing, it's just something is off. So God, God, allow me to know you even the more. God, allow me to know when you're in something and when you're not in something. Because it's like, God, I cannot make the same mistake twice, 3 times, 4 times. I can't afford it, God. There's souls, there's lives, there's things that are at stake when I'm off doing what I want to do and allowing myself to enjoy the things of the world. There's people out here that are needing what we have. Whether it's our testimony, whether it's the encouraging word, whether it's the word that God put in our bellies, people need these things. And while we're